Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Cousin Kelly. I've had a pretty good reaction to the last two videos, not the last two, but a couple of videos I've done here recently on a couple of gun reviews. One was a Big Mama's 16 gauge and the other one was my 30-30 Gold Trigger 100th anniversary rifle. Seems like you guys really liked it. Had a lot of views, a lot of thumbs up, so looks like I was hitting on something there. So we're going to try another one. A classic this time that all of you should know and have, or have at least experienced, is Remington 1100. Regular old Remington 1100. Nothing special, nothing fancy, just a 12 gauge 1100. I've had this one two different times. Acquired it, wound up trading it off, I think, to G Daddy, and then I wound up buying it back from him, I think, as well. Yeah, I wound up buying it back from him as well, trading him back for it, or whatever. And now this is just a plain base model 1100 12 gauge 28 inch, I think that's 28 inch barrel. I should have measured it. 28 inch barrel. Nothing fancy. It does have a little engraving on it, but nothing great, nothing spectacular. No vent rib barrel, so it's a little bit older. Just a single bead sight. I put some pictures of it in there. I may add another one there. The wood looks pretty good on it. The bluing is not too bad. And overall, the gun is in pretty good shape. The butt pad's not real wore down. The gun is empty. I'm pointing in a safe direction. The end of the barrel does have a little wear on it, but nothing ridiculous. Again, like I pointed out with some of my other couple of videos, a lot of people will lay these down, barrel down in the floorboard of their old trucks, and they'll ride down there and really get a lot of wear on the end of them. This one doesn't really exhibit any wear on that. Again, this is just a base model, cheaper, just a cheap basic 1100. It's not super fancy like some of the shotguns that my rich cousin, we'll call him Slick. You know who you are, Slick. He's got some really nice guns. But this one isn't near as fancy as some of the ones that he's got. I've got a couple myself. But I just wanted to show this to you guys. Put a video up there of me shooting it, cycling it. Just a sweet old gun. I mean, it runs just as good. They made several of these. I'll put the number below. Boop. I'll put that number down there to give you guys an idea of how many they make. And then you've probably seen I've added some years manufactured, that type of thing, to the bottom down there as well. Also, I'll tell you something about the 1100s. I've heard a few people give them kind of a bad rap because they don't cycle right. When you boom, 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 you're duck hunting or whatever you're doing, skeet shooting, they won't cycle right. They'll boom, they won't eject back, they won't kick the old shell out. They have problems. But in my experience, and I've had a few of these 1100s, I think I've got another one somewhere, is that if you take your foregrip off, there's a couple of O-rings on there that help the cycle process on this thing. Take the tube off. You have to tear into it. I'm not going to do a how-to on that, but there's a couple of O-rings on here. You can buy them on Amazon, you can buy them on eBay. And if you have an 1100 and it gets to where it doesn't want to cycle right, even with your low brass birdshot, as they call it, order you a couple of O-rings. I think there's 3 in a pack. Replace all 3 of those O-rings on this thing. Put a little gun lube on there, put it back together. It'll probably work right. I'm going to say that'll fix them 9 out of 10 times, if 9.5 out of 10 times. Would maybe even be a better ratio. Just unscrew your nut off there, slide your foregrip off. The O-rings are right there. Small, they're pretty small diameter O-rings. They're not big, heavy, fat O-rings like if you do hydraulic repair, that type of thing. They're not those type of O-rings. They're very fine, very small, maybe 1/8 of an inch if they're that big. Sorry about that. Airplane was going real low overhead. It's a really cloudy day and the planes are running kind of low heading to the airport over there, and it was kind of loud. Sorry about that. But that'll fix the cycling issue almost every time. I've got, I don't know, 2 or 3 packs of those things, and I order them. They'll come 10 or 20 in a pack, 3 in a pack, whatever it is. And I order a bunch, and I said, I'll put these up in case I run into that problem again. Sure enough, I run into the problem again, and I forget where I put the O-ring, so I order some more. So I've got plenty in there. And if you've got a couple of 1100s, you probably need to have plenty too. I think what happens is the old guns set up a long time. It's not a manufacturing or design issue, engineering issue. I think it's an age issue. Old black rubber O-rings, they set up, they get hard, they draw up a little bit, maybe get some cracks in them, and they just bypass the gas. Doesn't allow it to work. Now, it's not the same deal on 1187s. They gas a little differently from my understanding. I've had a couple of 1187s, don't remember having any issues with the bluing. I think looks pretty good on it. The barrel has a little, you can see where it wants to oxidize a little. Of course, I keep it, I like rim oil, the CRS or CSR, whatever that other one is. And then just, you know, a good old shop towel soaked down with WD-40 does the trick too. Looks pretty good on the wood. You can't overdo it because you will get oil soak in the wood, and it'll tend to turn the wood a little black around the edges where the oil will soak in. So don't overdo it, and don't cheap out like me and use WD-40. Use the right oil to wipe them down with, but WD-40 will work in a pinch. One of my pictures there, I showed you the butt stock, the recoil pad, and the size of it. This one has a pretty thick one. That's probably going to be 3/4 of an inch, 7/8 of an inch width there. So that makes it shooting it even that much better. Some of them just have a flat plate here, and I couldn't imagine shooting a high brass, mosquitoes are coming out. I couldn't imagine shooting a high brass load, 3 of them in a row, boom, 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 with no kind of pad on the end of it there. Okay, here's my story that I'm going to put a connection on with the 1187s, the sentimental part of the connection, which is the reason I wanted this one back. My son, who is, he'll be 17 in about a month, used to shoot competitive shotgun shooting. He shot a lot of trap, and he was pretty good, really good actually. And he started out using his grandfather's, his mother's father, had an old 1100, probably just like this one. And when my son was small, I mean, he was, let me think here, 9 or 10 years old, he started shooting, and man, he would grab that. It's all he could do was bring it up, bang, bang. But he was knocking those birds out of the sky. I'm 23, 24, 25 score rounds, which is pretty good, killing them. And then he wanted to continue shooting, and he wanted to get a little bit more competitive. And a lot of the boys in his shooting team, they all had the over and unders, the Brownings, the Synergies, and all those guns. And I wanted my son to have something like them, so we went out, spent a couple of grand on a Browning, over and under, Synergy, 30-inch barrel, the good chokes, the Browning Invicta chokes, all this stuff, all this money. And at first he wasn't hitting real good with it, but that gun was a little heavier, 2 barrels. It's going to be a lot heavier out on the front end, and he was having to bring it up and bang, bang, and it was wearing him out. He was getting fatigued part of the way through the shoot, I think, and that was affecting his shooting a little bit. And son, I think you probably wanted to go back to your 1100, but you didn't, because you didn't want to hurt my feelings by not shooting it. It would have been fine. I love you. I just wanted you to do good, of course. But he continued to shoot the Browning when he probably should have went back on that 1100. But he can outshoot me every day of the week now. And I love him very much. But I guess my sentimental lock to this is going to be, hey, I don't want to get rid of this one because my son shot one of those when he started shooting competitive shotgun. So yeah. So I've told you stories with Big Mama 16 gauge. I told you a story about Dale Clayton's 30-30. Now I've told you a story about Lucas, my son, and his grandfather, and Lucas shooting competitive skeet, or competitive trap with his granddaddy's 1100. I'm getting pretty old. We're all getting old at the same rate. And I think the older we get, and I speak for myself here, but the older we get, the more I get, a lot of us get more sentimental to old things that we've had in the past. We tend to try to find pictures and and things that remind us of older times, times that are gone, times that have passed and never will be again. I don't think that we're trying to recreate those times necessarily, but we just want somehow to pass those memories along, and we want to remember it ourselves. So I think that's why we try to collect things, hold on to things. Me and my aunt was talking about this the other day. We were talking about pictures, and she went and visited one of her childhood homes. I know she's going to watch this video, and it made my heart happy that she was so happy that she got to go visit that old Cottage Grove house. So yeah, the older we get, the more we tend to reminisce and have throwbacks on things. A lot of us do it. So yeah, I love her very much. Thank you for looking at my 1100. But be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Love you. Have a great evening. Ow!